Crimson Trace announces Laser Guard Pro for today's most popular concealed carry firearms, combining a red or green laser sight with 150 lumen light, taking personal defense to the next level. Available now at your local dealer.
The number one national voice in defense of your Second Amendment rights. Gun Talk, available on iTunes and on the free Gun Dealio smartphone app for Android and iPhone. To be on the air with Tom, call us now, 866-825-5486 or 1-TOM-TALK-GUN. Now, here's Tom.
All right, back with you. Just a reminder, earlier we announced a very cool giveaway. If you go to guntalk.com/win, you get a chance to enter for a chance to win a trip for two, all expenses paid, to Gun Sight, the gunfighting school in Arizona. Check it out. Go to guntalk.com/win, W-I-N, and you can enter for a chance to win that. Very cool. Before we get to our guest, I want to get Frank in here because he's been on hold for a little while. Line 1 out of San Antonio. Hey, Frank, what's your range report, sir?
Yes, sir, Tom. I have purchased on a year and a half. First was the A17, and then was the A22 Magnum Savage semi-auto rimfire rifles. And I just want to say these have been excellent rifles to shoot. I used different manufacturers don't have any problems. Uses CCI that was designed for the A22 and the A17. So real nice rifles.
Let me ask you a question. So you've got semi-auto versions of shooting the 17 HMR and the 22 Magnum. A lot of people would say, well, those two are very similar. How do you compare the two? When do you shoot one versus the other? Why have both?
Well, I started off with the 22 mag. I always liked the rimfire 22 mag, but I couldn't find one that wouldn't give, problems. And when this came out, first because the A17 came out first, I purchased that one, and I was real happy. And I figured, I was thinking to myself, you know what, they could make an A22 the same way. And sure enough, they came out with the A22, so I had to get and try it out too. Just because
you like the 22 Magnum cartridge?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay, good deal. Well, that is a great range. Let me ask you, are you shooting iron sights on those, or you put scopes on them? What are you doing?
Both of them I have scopes. One is a Nikon, the other one is a Leopold.
There you go. Okay. I appreciate the range report, Frank. Good info. That's the Savage A7 and A17 rather, and A22 semi-autos in the 17 HMR and the 22 Magnum. Very cool stuff. Well, speaking of sights, let me invite a longtime friend of mine, Leaha Wirth from HiViz Sights, joins us right now. Hey, Leaha, how are ya?
Tom, I am outstanding. How are you doing today?
You're always outstanding. I have never seen you. You did not have a smile on your face.
Well, there's just no reason to be grumpy. Life is good.
I like that attitude. No reason to be grumpy. So now we've known each other a long time, and you've got some cool stuff going on over at HiViz, including new products. So first of all, I guess we ought to start off with tell people what HiViz is and what you guys do.
Well, HiViz Shooting Systems is a company that manufactures replaceable sights for handguns, shotguns, and rifles. All of our products were designed to help shooters really enjoy the freedom of outstanding marksmanship. So they're carefully designed to be bright and be durable, but more importantly, give people a great shooting experience.
So these would be what people would call light pipes or what do we call it? Fiber optic sights is kind of the overall, I don't know, what you call it, category? Is that be fair?
No, yeah, you're hitting it right on the head, Tom. It's a light gathering pipe that is a replacement sight for, say, iron sights that would bring a lot more visibility to any shooter that is using it. And one thing that is really cool about HiViz Sights is that we have a very easily interchangeable light pipe system. So all of our sights come with at least two colors, depending on what model of gun that they fit. and they're very easily popped out and interchanged with a tool that we have. So we have a lot of competitive shooters like Corey Cogdell going to the Olympics and Max Michel using them because they can change them out to the conditions that they're experiencing.
As the light changes or the target you're shooting change, you could just switch out and have a different color front sight.
Exactly. If it's low light or it's cloudy and you're out hunting birds and you're feeling like your sight's not bright enough, if you have a red pipe in, you can change it to green or vice versa. So.
Yeah, and there might be some situations, because I know people are saying, well, why wouldn't I put in the brightest one? Well, that might not be what you're looking for. It might just blow out. It might kind of bloom too much, so you can adjust it for the conditions. If you're shooting clay targets against trees versus an open sky, you can get the best contrast without blowing it out.
Exactly. It really, especially for clay target shooting, I think is used more of as just a peripheral point of reference.
Right.
But you're right. Often people do not want a really bright sight. And although we have really bright sights, we also offer them, like I said, in a variety of configurations so that each shooter can customize their gun for the conditions that they're shooting in.
Okay. I got to tell you my typical experience with this, and you've probably seen it so many times you almost take it for granted now, but it still makes you smile. Somebody picks up a handgun that has one of your sights on it. It's got this HiViz bright, particularly front sight. And they pick it up and they look at the sights, and it's like they go, wow, I can really see that. And you go, well, yeah, that's what it's all about. But, I mean, it's like this startling, I had no idea reaction.
It is a startling, I had no idea reaction because I think we're so busy aligning the sights if we're not well trained, or especially if you're a newcomer. There's just a lot of thinking that goes into trying to hit your target, especially with a handgun. And the thing that's great about our sights is they really do bring your focal point into the front sight easily. And this year we introduced in our Lightwave line a lot of rear sights as well. So for some beginners, it's as simple as just lining up 3 dots.
So tell me about Lightwave. What is this?
Lightwave was designed predominantly to just be the absolute most durable handgun sight on the market. I would say that it's designed for competitive shooters, but as we've played with it more and more, we're discovering that first-time shooters that want to build their accuracy and their confidence enjoy it and honestly shoot better. I've never seen anybody, handgun, shotgun, or rifle, that went from iron sights to HiViz sights that didn't immediately experience more accuracy. And we all know how important that is when we're learning to, especially with a handgun, if it's for self-defense, we're learning to defend ourselves. Or even if you're a competitive shooter, we're very active in the Scholastic pistol program, and their championships are next week. So we'll have some people on the ground there in Ohio showing students how they can work with our sights and have a better competitive experience. But Lightwave's got this cool exoskeleton on it that was designed for multiple holstering and unholstering. So you get all the benefits of a sight that you can see well, with all the benefits of it's practical. You can use it in the field. You can beat it up, and it's going to take what you can put it through.
Okay, I'm looking at it on the website now. Now I get it. It's kind of one of those, you got to see it to get it. But yeah, it's kind of there's a lot more frame around the light pipe to protect it from impact and that type of thing, and holstering and all of that. So it makes it rugged.
Yes, it's very rugged.
Huh, okay.
And the other thing that's nice about it is it's pretty sexy looking, too.
Well, it is. It looks pretty good, and we want our guns to look good. I will tell you the other thing is the faster, and this is a speed deal, the faster you can see your front sight, the faster you can shoot accurately. And that's real. And I don't care if it's target shooting or self-defense, that's what it's really all about, is putting shots on target quickly, isn't it?
Mm-hmm. It really is, and we know that. We are interested in being sure that we can offer the fastest sight picture in the sight market for our customers.
Well, these things are pretty amazing. If you've not experienced this, you got to check it out. The first time you pick up a handgun, and I know they work on shotguns, but my go-to place is on the handguns where you just kind of go, wow, there it is. That's that front sight I've been looking for. And maybe as my eyes get a little older, you're going, where'd it go? And now, boom, and you don't need a lot of ambient light. I mean, they will pick up even in kind of not pure pitch dark, but in low light, these things still glow.
They glow terrifically in low light. And frankly, we really originally designed them some for the hunter. We have a really cool turkey sight called the HiViz. And I've used our sights out in the field in the morning when the birds are starting to put on their show. And they're definitely very, very visible right at those lines of time when you really would want to be able to see your sights effectively.
Yeah, I just had another thought. This Lightwave being rugged like it is, that would be pretty sweet on a home defense shotgun, wouldn't it?
It would be. We do not have Lightwave for a home defense shotgun yet. We're slowly introducing it into our line. We do have it for a Ruger 1022, though, which is really cool.
Okay, well, see, I just gave you something else to start working. You guys are probably already working on it, though.
Yeah, we probably are. I'm not allowed in the engineering department, or I would know for sure. But, they never want the marketing people in there because we're always harping on them for more and more stuff. You say,
yeah, all right, we want this, and we want this. There you go. Besides, you're out there shooting that stuff and going hunting with it, and you always want something new.
Yeah, my wish list is never ending, Tom.
I can believe it. Absolutely. Now, the website is HiViz. It's H-I, not H-I-G-H, H-I-V-I-Z sights.com. And you can see everything there, right?
That is correct. And if you have any questions at all, we're very easy to access on Facebook, and we're very responsive.
There you go. Leaha, thank you so much. It's always a pleasure to chat with you.
Thank you so much for the time, Tom. We appreciate everything that you're doing out there.
Well, I appreciate that, too. HiViz Sights, if you've not seen them, check them out. Let me tell you, man, seeing your sights, it's what we call a good thing. All right, open lines now, 866-TALK-GUN, or just dial Tom Talk Gun. What's on your mind?
The Ruger American Rifle is a 100% American-made firearm that offers outstanding performance at a great price. Available in standard size and compact models, it features power bedding integral bedding blocks, a Ruger Marksman adjustable trigger, a flush-fit 4-round rotary magazine, and a 3-lug bolt with 70-degree throw. Compact models feature a shorter length of pull and a shorter barrel for a reduction in overall length of more than 5 inches. The Ruger American Rifle, another rugged, reliable firearm from Ruger.
Alien Gear Holsters, the most comfortable and concealable holsters on the planet, is offering big savings with our new 2-holster combo. Now you can buy 2 complete holsters for as little as $49.88. Choose from any available holster styles and colors for the guns of your choice. All of Alien Gear's quality products are made right here in the USA and include a 30-day trial, forever warranty, and free shell trades for life. Visit aliengearholsters.com today.
If you carry a gun, you need training. Your concealed carry class was definitely not training. But time, money, and obligations keep you from spending days at a shooting school. The trusted folks at Gun Talk can help. Concealed Carry 1, our DVD featuring the VADA Group, covers what gun, what holster, how to carry, where to wear your gun, and much more. Visit shopguntalk.com. That's shopguntalk.com. Look, this really is life and death. Learn how to stay aware, how to get away, and how to fight if you must. At shopguntalk.com, you can get the 2 DVD set, including Fighting with the 1911 with Tiger McKee. No matter what gun you carry, this vital training info can save your life. Learn the draw, the stance, reloading, vital gear from Gun Talk. That's shopguntalk.com. shopguntalk.com.
Responsible owners control access to their firearms, even when they may need them in a hurry. Liberty Safe, the nation's leader in gun safes, offers 6 models of handgun vaults. Strong, simple to use, open with a key or fingerprint. Put your handgun in the compact vault, lock it away until you need it. Then it's in your hand almost instantly. Pick the Liberty Safe handgun vault that's right for you. LibertySafeHD.com.
All right, we get email, as they say. This is from Kevin. It says, Tom, I have been an officer for over 26 years. When I started, most rural people had a good share of, most rural people and a good share of suburban people grew up hunting or with at least some positive exposure to guns. Many police officers came from this demographic. Aha, I see where we're going. Now, the younger officer most likely shoots when he has to qualify and has never hunted or shot for recreation. He grew up being told guns are bad, and that's all he knows. So he may react quite different than someone with firearms history. It says, personally, when somebody tells me they are carrying, we usually have a gun guy conversation. Kevin continues, the only people I've ever had problems with were felons who, guess what, didn't volunteer this information. It's a good point. A lot of the police officers today may have grown up not shooting, not having guns, not being around guns, and the only exposure they've had to guns is that guns are bad, guns are used in crime. Which brings up something, I've talked about this in years past, I haven't talked about it recently. It bothers me a lot that in much firearms training for police officers, the command that they use to tell them to draw is someone yelling the word gun. When you and I know that carrying a gun is not a threat to anyone, that having a gun on you is perfectly legal, and certainly having a gun and having someone see it would be absolutely no reason for someone to draw a gun on you. But I worry, which is to say I fear, police training that basically programs police officers that when they see a gun or when they hear an officer say the word gun, they immediately draw their weapon and plan for the eventuality or the possibility of shooting someone. I would much rather have them say the word threat when they say, because a threat could be a gun, it could be a guy with a rock, it could be a guy with a bottle, it could be somebody with a knife, but it doesn't program people that if I see someone with a gun, I am automatically going to go for mine. That is a real problem, I think. Line 3, Jim's with us in Denham Springs, Louisiana, just outside, not very far from Baton Rouge. Hey, Jim.
Hey, man, how's it going? I just got me a 770 Remington in 308,
yeah?
And I took it to the range about 3 weeks ago. It shot real good. Well, I started off with 7.62 by 51. It didn't shoot well at all. So I got out to 308 and hunting, bullets, and I put those in, sighted it in, and at 100 yards, I was getting an inch and a half group. And the only thing I don't like about it is the bolt is kind of jiggly. It's not like my A303, that's for sure. And,
yeah, it's a different design, but it's working okay. How's the trigger?
Oh, it was a great trigger. I couldn't believe it. When I was taught in Boy Scouts, it's supposed to kind of surprise you when you pull the trigger. It did that almost every time because the trigger was like 4 pounds and just squeezed it. And, boy, it surprised me. And I was getting 1.5-inch groups with the thing for a rifle that cost $300.
Now, what scope did you put on it?
It came with a scope.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, scope and rifle, $300. And I thought that was a good deal. I'd try one, and it seemed to work out quite well. The only thing I did to it is a synthetic rifle, so I took out all the plastic underneath the barrel to make it a free-float barrel.
Okay.
I don't know if I'm supposed to do that, but I did it anyway.
Well, you know what? If it's working for you and you like the way it shoots, it sounds like you did the right thing. Hey, Jim, thanks for that range report. I sure appreciate that. Edward is on line 2, Little Rock, Arkansas. Edward, holster question. What you looking for?
Yes, sir. My question is, Tom, I have a holster that was my father's. I was going through some old boxes of stuff that I'd put up in storage some years back, and I run across this holster, and I thought, wow, look here. And I put it I have a Bretta 92 FS, and it fits in it rather well. And the leathers on it is dry rotted, and I would like to find another holster like it. And the holster, the button on it, on the snap where it snaps down, it's the leather holster. And I can't make out all the letters on it. It looks like Butcherman or Butcher.
Buchheimer. It's Bucheimer. Bucheimer. Bookmeyer, I believe it, or Buckmeyer. Buchheimer. That's what Buchheimer.
Buchheimer.
Yeah. That's the one.
Bucheimer, maybe, like you said.
Yep, Bucheimer.
4.
I'm not sure if those guys. I'm not sure that they're still in business. I'm looking online right now, and I'm seeing a bunch of like eBay stuff and Craigslist stuff, but I'm not seeing a listing for them, so I'm not even sure that these guys are still in business. Tell you what, if you'll keep listening, we'll see if somebody can fill us in, because that used to be a big name in holsters, but God, I have not heard from them or about them in a long time. So if you know if anybody knows what happened to it's at Buchheimer, Bucheimer holsters. Give me a holler. Help me out here, okay? We'll also talk about ways that you can carry. How do you conceal? What do you do when you're carrying? What happens there? And we got, Frank, I want to get your call in here because that's an interesting question. What happens if you got a police officer who wants to disarm you, but he doesn't know how to operate your firearm? Doesn't know how it works? That's a concern, and we'll have a report on what happened in that situation. Pretty interesting. So basically, we're looking for your range reports. What's on your mind? What is your take after the events of this week? Thinking about police officers putting their lives on the line for us. Also, traffic stops. People are just nervous out there. Are you nervous? Has this affected you? Has it changed the way you think? Has it changed the way you operate? 866-TALK-GUN. That's our number, 866-TALK-GUN.
Gun Talk encourages you to support the local sporting goods store, gun stores, ATV dealers, and other local businesses in your area who advertise on this station and Gun Talk. Only together can we protect our rights. You're listening to Washington Times opinion page regular contributor Tom Gresham.
All righty. Let's talk about guns. 866-TALK-GUN will get you in here. Talk a little bit about the election, but mostly we're talking a little bit about the events of this week. Man gets stopped, traffic stop. Reports are that he had a concealed carry permit. Sounds like he did. Don't know what transpired. Not going to offer a thought on whether that was a good shoot or not. We'll find out. We'll get the information. Just cool your jets, as we like to say. Just patience. Take a deep breath. One of the things I find, it's a really good article. It's on the JPFO website that's used for the preservation of firearms ownership. It was by an MD psychologist who said, look, why are gun haters the way they are? Why are anti-gunners the way they are? What is it that motivates them? And some very interesting things there, and you can use. They talk about defense mechanisms. She does. Defense mechanisms. It's not a mental illness, but it's a defense mechanism. Projection is one, and you've heard people say, well, if you have a gun and when you have a bad day, you're just going to shoot somebody. Well, what they're actually saying is, if I had a gun and I had a bad day, then I would shoot somebody. They're projecting that onto people who have guns. They'll say, well, if a teacher has a gun, the teacher is probably going to end up shooting a kid. And the recommendation was, as I have talked about for many, many years, is use questions, not statements, use questions. Well, why do you think a teacher would shoot a child? And if you think that's the case, why would you have your child at a school where you don't trust the teachers not to kill your children, whether or not they have a gun? Questions. So you're saying that if your neighbor had a bad day, that neighbor and had a gun would shoot you. Why do you think that? Why? Lots of why questions. How would that happen? You kind of hold the mirror up. It's a very effective technique. Not shouting people down, not trying not to put them on the defensive, but trying to let them see what's going on. Maybe they look at it and go, well, yeah, not everybody's like that. And then they may say, well, geez, maybe I'm a person who flies off the handle, and I would be afraid of me having a gun in that situation because I'm basically uncontrolled in those situations. And of course, you want to say, well, this is really not about you. You think that I'm that way, and you're just projecting that on me. There's a lot more there. I put out a tweet on that. Take a look at Twitter. On Twitter, I'm at Gun Talk. By the way, speaking of stuff we put up there, we're putting up a lot of trailers for our shows and outtakes and funny stuff, both on our YouTube channel, Gun Talk TV, and also on Facebook, Gun Talk Media. You can find them all on your Gundealio app on your smartphones. You just download the free Gundealio app, and you can see the videos that we post there. It's really fun stuff. We got some hilarious outtakes, and so we've started to compile those and put them together so that you can see what goes on our video shoots. Let's talk to Frank. He's on line 4, driving in, I believe that's Louisiana. Hey, Frank, what happened on this stop you're talking about here?
Okay, it was just a DOT check. I'm a private, not a commercial carrier. And anyhow, what I did was the only time I switched my 1911 from my hip over to cross draw when I'm in the vehicle because of my armrest, I can't get it out. And when I saw him turn around and put his lights on me, I slipped it off and stuck it on the trunk organizer I have between my seats in my truck and on the back side. And that's all I did, and had my hands on top of the steering wheel. And as soon as he come up and wanted to see my driver's license, I said, I've got a concealed carry. And that's always, in my concealed carry class, it was a deputy sheriff. He told us, he said, have your concealed carry first, your driver's license second. So that's the first thing the officer sees. So that's the way I do. And I immediately told him, and he said, where is it? And I kept my hands up, and I'd already flipped my armrest up, and I said, it's right over there. And I kept my hand over by the window and my other on the steering wheel. And then he said, well, step out. He reached over in it. He took the magazine out, and he went to dechamber it, and he said, and he looked at it, and he's having problems. And I said, that's cocked and locked. And I said, that's the safety there. And I was pointing there, and I realized, I said, excuse me. And I stepped back, both hands upside my head. And I realized I was getting too close. He didn't seem to be bothered, but just as, when I realized what I was doing, then he took it around to the opposite side, was on I-49, and I went off an exit ramp. And he went on the other side away from the road and everything to safely done to do it. And he put it back in the holster and laid it on the bed and everything. And the bullet that he took out, he put it in his pocket. He said, now, remind me to give this back to you. I might forget to. But it was kind of funny in a way. But he stayed calm and everything. And I come from my stepsister's her second husband, police officer, but her first husband's police officer was killed in the line of duty. So I have probably a different outlook on things than some people.
I understand. Well, it sounded like it worked out. And look, I appreciate that call. I have always kind of wondered if you had there probably are very few police officers who've ever handled a 1911. And if they're used to a Glock, we take the mag out, work the slide one time. If slide's locked with a safety on, I'm wondering if they know what to do. And the other thing that would worry me a little bit is the trigger is lighter, generally speaking, on 1911. Want to make sure they keep their finger off the trigger. I guess what I would say is, I've thought about that. I would say, I can show you how to operate that, or there's a way to do that. But the other thing I guess I would do is watch the muzzle. If the officer is disarming you, but he ends up pointing the gun at you, you might want. I would say something. I would absolutely say, please watch that muzzle. Let's not point that at me, please. I have no problem saying that. And, I don't know, honestly, of any officer who would have a problem with that. Most of the guys I know, they would just say, oh, God, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to do that. Got distracted here. So just kind of food for thought for you. Tell you what, let's take a quick break. We'll come back. 866-TALK-GUN. We'll be right back.
Hi, this is Joe. I bought a silencer from Silencer Shop, and it was a pretty amazing experience. I simply went to silencershop.com, followed the instructions, purchased my silencer, and they took care of the rest. My local firearm dealer called me when my silencer arrived. Did you know a silencer is an important accessory that offers an added hearing protection and greater shooting accuracy? It's great for hunters and those who want to enjoy more social interaction during shooting sports. Visit silencershop.com to find a silencer for your firearm.
As we celebrate 2 centuries in Remington country, it's humbling to think about all the ground we've covered. Since the infancy of our nation, we've journeyed with you every step of the way, helping shape the course of American history. Remington country is bigger than a place, and for the 200 years, it's been our highest honor supporting your freedoms and your way of life. To celebrate, Remington is giving away 200 guns. For a chance to win, tell us your story at 200sweepstakes.remington.com.
If you're like me, you don't have money to burn, but you still want to buy guns, ammo, and accessories. That's why we created Gun Dealio. That's a free smartphone app. Just download it and start getting the deals. Could be discounts, offers of free magazines for your gun, or you could be the first to hear about new stuff from gun makers. Here's how it works. With Gun Dealio on your phone, you get alerts when you enter a gun store. Special deals, You don't have to do a thing. It'll do a lot of other cool things, like let you watch gun videos and listen to Gun Talk podcast. Plus, check it anytime for hundreds of deals and offers. Getting more while spending less. Smart, huh? Gun Dealio. Made in America. Gluten-free. At the App Store and Google Play or GunDealio.com.
The Black Hills. There's nothing like it on Earth. The kind of place where characters become legends. Wild Bill Hickok. Crazy Horse. Calamity Jane. Pick any part of the world and you'll find people go there to make it their own. But this is where people come to get made. This is the place that made the people who make the best ammo on Earth. Black Hills Ammunition.
All right, back with the 866-TALK-GUN to get you in here. Let's see, line one, John, Fargo, North Dakota. Hey, John.
Afternoon, Tom. So, again, you're spot on. The more I listen to you, the more I learn. And it got me thinking today when I turned on my satellite radio and listened to the news out of Chicago, and the first thing I hear is one of the anti-gun crowd saying how we need to ban assault rifles based on what's going on in the gun-free zones in Chicago. And I started to think for a minute, that little red dot in my head lit up bright. And I said, Tom keeps talking about how we need to start standing our ground as gun owners. Stop requesting, or trying to get along with the crowd on the other side sometimes because we're not serving ourselves. Right. And I started thinking about it, and I thought, hey, okay, I listen to Tom. He's one of my favorite programs. I listen to other talk radio programs, and I'm sure listeners out there do as well, that we like. And I thought, wait a minute. We don't listen to Talk Show B because we know that host is an anti-gun, Hillary Clinton-loving liberal type and blah, 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 and we won't listen to him. And I thought, wait a minute. these are the same people who are beating us into the ground. We need to start listening to those programs, and just like they use their Bloomberg talking points, we need to use our talking points and state the facts and get out to their listeners to start working things back in our direction. Am I wrong?
No, I think you're onto something here, John. There are a lot of shows out there where the show hosts are just parroting what they're being told by the gun ban groups, the Brady groups, the Bloomberg groups. And here's the thing. You got to understand how talk radio works. I have to give you the inside scoop here. What you want to do is you got to get in your point quickly. You can't go clearing. I call it clearing your throat when you talk before you get to your point, because on some of these shows, you'll never get to your point. You're going to get cut off. I mean, we try not to do that here. But what you might want to do, I'm trying to figure out what I would do, John, if I were going to take you up to call a show where they're talking about guns. And you might just start off with, hey, thanks a lot. It says, the FBI says that gun crime is down by half in the last 20 years. First words out of your mouth. The FBI says that gun crime is down 50% in the last 20 years. So you've gotten, no matter what happens after that, you've gotten that out there. And remember, here's the thing. Remember this, if nothing else. The goal is not to convince a host that doesn't like guns. The goal is to put the information in front of the listeners. And so it's very friendly. Well, the FBI says that gun crime is down by half in the last 20 years. We got more guns now than ever, but crime with guns has been cut in half. Isn't that great? Oh, yeah, but and then they'll say, but crime is up in Chicago and these other places. Well, yeah, of course, that's where they have a lot of gun control laws. But overall in the U.S., gun crime is down by 50%. John, I love the idea. What John is referring to is I have decided that our goal is not to defend ourselves against gun control law efforts. Our goal is to attack, and take ground. I said it before. If you're on defense and the other side wins only 10% of the time, you're losing. You're backing up. You're losing ground. If you're on offense and you're winning 10% of the time, you're taking ground. We have to be on offense. The goal, and this is the deal, it's really simple, and I want people to actually think about this. The goal is to destroy gun control. What do I mean by that? There are no gun control laws that make anybody safer. None. No gun control laws have ever been shown to reduce crime. They simply put burdens on you and me, the honest people. The criminals don't obey the laws. They don't pay any attention to the laws. And we've created this multi-billion-dollar bureaucracy at the ATF and the FBI where we have to say, Mother, may I, every time we buy a gun. Nick's background checks. What a bogus piece of POS that thing is. Doesn't do any good. But somehow we want to mealy-mouth give some kind of credence to it. Well, yeah, well, of course, no. We have to destroy gun control in all vestiges of it. We have to go wherever it is and start repealing gun control laws. Start making it possible to do the things we used to do, without the restrictions, to be able to buy guns. Let's see, what am I talking about? Oh, gee, age limits. 1968 Gun Control Act. You have to be a certain age to buy a gun. Where did that come from? Why? What's the point of that? You're either safe or you're not. And I know people go, oh, you can't do that now. Well, we can't do everything, but we can do something. And until you start trying to take ground, you will be condemned to lose ground. You have to take back our gun rights. We have to start saying, my goal is not to fight these guys. My goal is to destroy their organizations. My goal is, like John says, we're going to call every talk show out there that doesn't like guns, and we're going to keep putting the facts in front of the people. And when the people understand, gee, gun crime is down 50% in only 20 years, they'll go, well, gee, I don't understand why these guys keep pushing for more gun control. That doesn't make sense. right, let's see if we can get everybody in here. Line 3, Austin, Waco, Texas. You are on the line. Go, Austin.
Comment on your comment. First off, every Texas Ranger I have met is carried in 1911.
Aha.
So, and I've been pulled over twice by the cops, one by a Texas trooper and the other by a McLennan County Sheriff's deputy. The procedure is pull over, shut off the engine, pull on your flashers, roll down all windows, present them with your CHL on top of your driver's license with your insurance. And the DPS officer asked me if I had it on me. I said, yes, sir. It's on my right hip. He said, don't touch yours, I won't touch mine.
It seems fair.
Yeah. And that's basically what the sheriff's officer said was, don't go for yours, I won't go for mine. I hadn't had a problem, and I got warnings in all instances.
I'll be darned. Good deal. Thanks, Austin. I appreciate the report on that one. John's got a report on line 4. Hey, John, what happened when you had your police encounter?
Well, normally if I'm pulled over, it's by the county sheriff or state police since I'm out of the city limits. There may be a difference in perception there. I don't know. But it seems that when I mention that I have a concealed carry permit, that the tension level drops.
Well, it may be the permit, but I'm guessing it's also your demeanor and how you go about it. Describe the process. What do you do?
Basically what you suggested earlier. I roll the windows down. I put my hands on the steering wheel. If it's dark, I turn the dome light on.
Right.
And I take my cues from him.
There you go. Basically, it says, how do you want to handle it? You know, I'm not doing anything until you tell me what you want to do. And as long as the officer has the information, then you go, here's the information you need. Now, basically, you're in charge. What do you want to do now? We'll go wherever you want to go.
Right.
I really think probably that, as much as anything, that's what lowers the tension level. I mean, and now, look, assuming you don't meet the description of, stolen car, bad guy, somebody committed a armed robbery, something like that. In those situations, they're going to be amped up. And that's, once more, you don't know what the officer's been told. The officer may be thinking, this is a stolen car, this is a violent felon, and you're thinking it's just a traffic stop. Conduct yourself in a way that helps the officer sort it out, okay? He or she may be nervous, may flat be scared. You may have the veteran officer walking up on your side, and on the other side that you don't see is the rookie who is 6 weeks out of the academy, who is, whizzing in his pants because he's scared to death. And any kind of move from you, and he walks up, he's allowed to be the one that walks up and sees that you're carrying a gun and hollers, gun! And here we go, so you just want to conduct yourself in a way that lets everybody be safe at the end of it. I would encourage you to think through this. I would encourage you to talk it over with your friends, your family members. In some states, the police will already know that you're carrying because it's indicated in the records of your driver or your license plate when they run that before they get out. In a lot of states, you don't have to have a permit either to carry on your person or in your car. Just remember, they're people too, and they're doing a job that a lot of people say, I wouldn't do that job, not for the kind of money they're getting. Yeah, but they do. And they will show up to help you. That's what they do. Just remember who the good guys are out there. And you might want to just check that anti-authority attitude. It'll play out a lot better. Be safe out there. Show some respect. Be careful.